Afternoon, everyone. Excuse me, this is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, September 20, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Now make sure you're in a comfortable position, relaxed into your body, no outside distraction, still as a statue. Focus on your breath rising and falling. The moment you start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, old burden on your heart disappears. At the fear of death or life, of love, everything disappears. One starts living with a very lightweight or almost no weight, so weightless one can fly in the open sky, Osho. In every moment, we have the golden opportunity to choose trust over fear. Nowadays, people trusting is a rarity. When we can learn how to let go of this tight grip we have on this life, we immediately make a more intimate space for a closer relationship with the divine healing intelligence that abides behind everything. All of our overly fearful, doubtful, and protective feelings instantly fade away when we are trusting that a divine intelligence is always present in our lives. A softness blossoms inside, and we regain our natural ability to relax fully into our body and can start enjoying every detail about our present, past, and future. With deep trust, we could evolve as a spiritual beings, and without it, we are lost. We can ascend to the point where we are trusting that every experience that this life brings us is absolutely divine and perfect. Even if an experience may be painful, the greater, deeper, eternal loving is known and felt, hidden inside. A trusting heart can quietly realize how a fear is our greatest teacher, always invoking a higher state of spiritual awareness into our future, so that we stop pretending to be these small, powerless, ego-driven beings and start living that truly amazing life we so love. And it's a choice it's only we can make. Choosing trust over fear really comes down to worshiping our spiritual nature over our ego. It's about a deep devotion to our real selves and being truly dedicated to filling up our precious time on this earth with more relaxation, appreciation, and joy instead of ego-driven anxieties, demands, and tension. With trust as our deepest guide, we can pierce through the ego's veil of ignorance and perceive those life-challenging people and situations with the utmost patience and appreciation. Having no resistance to fear, we flow with the great spirit of life, and knowing everything works itself out karmically in the very end. This level of trust instills such a fresh, enlightening perspective about life, which instantly liberates the mind from all negative thinking with trust in charge. All negative thinking. When we hit an emotional wall of resistance or fear, we open up to it instead of shut down even further. We feel into the wall, knowing there is always a bigger spiritual lesson behind it to be learned. And looking forward to finding out what it is. This approach is what allows for a deeper state of peace to make its home inside our heart and soul. Trust is such a powerful force that we can turn the most ordinary life instantly into an extremely rich spiritual adventure. With trust, we feel safe and connected with everyone we meet, and naturally are overflowing with an effervescent joy in all directions. We tend to respond to others with compassion instead of criticism, curiosity instead of impatience, and comprehension instead of judgment. Every moment of life becomes a new doorway that opens up to the highest and deepest aspects of our being. When we become more aware how trust is a choice, we discover our power to either expand or contract our experience of life in each moment. This power enables us to become the spiritual masters of our destiny. We no longer fear life. Most people on this planet fear life, yet embrace it all. As we gain more trusting momentum, we are able to remain only in the trust vibration for longer periods of time. We comprehend how to skyrocket our consciousness in a matter of minutes and eventually catapult our lives into the fifth dimensional realm of the divine. Trust is the magical gateway to our true unlimited nature, as it transcends the ego and opens the door to our most enlightened state of consciousness. And what is a big thing on this planet is not trusting. It's like an epidemic. Why is that? Well, it's because we don't trust ourselves. One might say, well, you trust yourself. You trust yourself, but it doesn't necessarily mean you trust everybody else. Remember, we are creators. We manifest. Most people, fear has been dominating their lives. Okay? If fear has been dominating your life, retreat. You can let go. Forgive yourself, free the others, and release whatever has happened in your past. You can move on. It is not worth it to hang on to any low vibration for another day. This is what many people do. They hang on to lower vibrations, not for a day, months, even years. Trust that all the trauma you received in this life was given by God to wake you up from this deep, sleepy dream. In certain ways, we're all asleep. And everyone's been caught in some dramatic, perpetually self-wounding victim spin cycle, taught to never trust in life, ourselves, or anyone else again. You ever said that to yourself? You're never going to trust again? Just let it go. And remember, you are still lovable, worthy, and totally amazing exactly as you are. You just signed up for a massive class in spiritual growth and radical, enlightened maturity. Whatever our past life circumstances might have been, we are always given the choice how we wish to respond to them now. Every time we choose trust over fear, everyone's heart opens a bit wider. We feel a more gentle, healing, heart-warming energy coming in. Now, this warm, trusting heart is needed in this life, for the divine intelligent universe is always testing our level of awareness, checking in to see how awake we are. The test is always the same. How will we choose to respond? With more trust or more fear? It might throw us a bag of super sour lemons just to see if we know how to add some playful creative sweetness and make a pitcher of lemonade. To not value the gift of a human incarnation is like trading a diamond for a head of cabbage, Vedic sage. It's good to know that the opposite of fear is, a lot of people think the opposite of fear is love. But it is trust. And yet through living a life of trust, we naturally start falling in love with everything and everyone. With 100% trust, we become a loveaholic of life, feeling naturally orgasmic about this precious opportunity we have to live, feeling completely turned on by this chance to find our spiritual path and connection. The expansive feeling in the heart can become so divinely open that every breath feels as though we are making love with the divine. Are you ready to sign up for choosing a life devoted to always responding with trust yet? Spiritual power we receive from the trust vibration is simply awesome. Total trust effortlessly engulfs all kinds of egoic negativity that may try to dominate any room. When a being who has 100% unshakable trust enters any community, it is so penetrating and contagious that everyone's ego eventually falls into either embarrassment or humility. When this group of people all simultaneously begin choosing trust over fear, you can feel this giddy, enlightening joy exponentially expanding through everyone's lives. The group energy becomes more relaxed and at ease with their life, their future, and everything as it is. To live as a life flowing with trust, it's important to comprehend that fear is not a bad thing. It's just not something you care to be behind making any of your decisions. If you want fear-based decisions in life, you will only create fear-based outcomes. If you try to avoid fear or attempt to delete it completely from your life, it will sneak back in when your guard is down. Fearful thoughts are there to wake you up, to invite in your biggest self, as they are simply small contracted truths about reality. It's like tiny grains of sand that can be so meaningless and inconsequential unless one of them gets stuck in your eye. It is amazing how something so small can create such a huge pain. In walking the path of fear, we are living from our ego because the ego is always feeling either superior or inferior. We become very controlled and judgmental. Living in the ego, we become narrow-minded and completely unaware that we are abiding in a very small, limiting truth. We know we are living from ego because we feel constantly unsatisfied, perpetually searching for the next fantastic thing or a new pleasure to escape into. The ego does not know what inner peace is. It is untrusting of new things. You ever been untrusting of new things? Sticking only to what is comfortable and often feels caught in needing to protect itself from our emotions and feelings. Ego always has new ways to hide or shine because it does not trust our inner light will always be there to guide us through the darkness. This is why we master the ego mind. Okay? We bring it as our assist, like a servant, rather than us, as I've said many times, rather than us being its servant. And we bring it in within us, and we guide it through heart-mind, and it finally discovers peace within. Once it does that, it takes a back seat. You can use it as a vehicle, as a tool, in a positive way, until it gets to the point where it decides that it no longer needs to be. When there is no desire to dominate, no desire to cling, no desire to possess, the ego starts evaporating. This is a true marker for you. Okay? When you do not have any desire to dominate, to cling, to possess, this is when you know that the ego is beginning to evaporate. Osho. One might ask, well, how the heck do you choose trust over fear? How do you do that all the time? We need to take a more sensitive approach to feeling into ourselves so we can see when we are in a state of trust or fear. You can check in at any moment of your day what is going on in the area around your heart and chest. If it feels expansive and tight or light, you're in a state of trust. And if it's tight and heavy, you're holding on to fear. And the general feeling you carry in your chest is your trust barometer to see what types of choices you're making every day. And when you're living each day, when we are living each day of our lives in fear, we tend to want to control everything, force our way through life. We tend to live in this hurried-up mode, rushing through each sacred experience, missing out on the small, precious moments where it could have felt as heavenly angels were present. And when trust does not become a natural response to life, in other words, it is our natural state of being, we become afraid to make decisions. We stop taking risks. We feel stuck in some weird emotional prison and perpetually unhappy for no reason at all. And when fear is more important than trust, we feel like a failure in life. Instead of simply removing the small speck of sand from our own eye, we spend our time trying to change ourselves, others, in the outer world. And once we discover how to trust in the experience of trust, a bigger truth takes over. Our lives and the walls of our fearful, boxed-in life slowly fall away. Now, if or when you need to liberate yourself from a fearful state, you must choose to welcome all your fears with 100% trust and remember everything is perfect exactly as it is. This universe never makes mistakes. We simply have to choose to accept every pile of manure as a message that we need more fertilizer. If and when your life or mind becomes too overwhelming or challenging, simply refocus your awareness back onto the biggest feeling of trust that you can remember. Dwell only on that trusting feeling for 1 to 2 hours and give yourself permission to stop dwelling on what you fear. In a very short time, you can find the spiritual light starts seeping back into your very soul again. Now, it seems pretty easy, doesn't it? Oh, that doesn't seem difficult or hard. But it is a challenge when we are so steeped in a ego, mind, controlled, directed life. And this is why so many people fear. Right now on this planet, you can feel it. You can feel it in this very now moment. Ask yourself, are you feeling any fear? Most of us will run from it. We keep kind of, get away, like a fly, right? Keeps coming back. You look at it, say everything is divinely perfect exactly the way it is. Okay? That worry, that stress, that fear disappears. And it tells you when you're not on track with trust. It will tell you, because that's when the fear comes in. And you don't trust things. You don't trust. You don't trust. Okay? And then you decide, well, you know what? Why not? I'll trust it. Period. And I'll embrace things exactly the way they are. And so you do. And fear disappears. Does the heart-mind create fear? No, it doesn't exist. So when you're in the heart-mind, you don't experience fear? No, you don't. If you do, then you're not in heart-mind. And the reason we focus on fear is because it's so much is predicated on fear on this planet right now, right in this now moment. It is a lot of things that control, direct, suppress, and contain the civilization of planet Earth. Most things that are across the planet, certain things that different countries and people and cultures express fear. Fear is a way to control large groups of people. And where is that coming from? It's coming from the fear-based leadership of the countries on planet Earth. Fear, 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 fear. Don't trust, don't trust, don't trust, don't trust, don't trust. Now, let's say that you're a mechanic, moved out of town or something, and you need a mechanic to work on your vehicle. So you have transportation. It's reliable. So you get somebody you don't know, that you've never interacted with, and you're like, should I trust them or not? Right? Or someone refers you to somebody, and whatever the service may be, and then you take whatever or do whatever, and you go in and, that this one being referred you, and she says, oh, they're great, blah, blah, blah. You go in and you trust, and it doesn't work out. Okay? Now, you've got a choice. Either say to yourself that you trust yourself, and this is, there's a reason for this, there's a reason why this occurred, why it happened. Or maybe it's because to motivate you to look elsewhere, or to not be in such of a hurry. See, there's always messages that actually are conveyed to us. Most of the time, we ignore the messages. It doesn't register. Okay, and so we just keep moving, and it falls away. Most of the time, just if not all the time, we are receiving messages in everything. Absolutely everything. Never are we not receiving messages. Frequencies from the universe, from the God that we are within. Minute to minute, we're always receiving messages, vibrational frequencies, tuned specifically to you. And most of the time, we don't recognize it or we don't identify it. It's like, people will say, well, I never get enough help. I need more help. I need this. I need that. And you're always getting it. But you don't know it. Because you haven't looked at it or acknowledged it. Because you're in too much of a hurry. Because the fear-based perspective has motivated you to be in a hurry. That's how it operates. It's all connected. As Ezra Gadada said, what creates that? What creates all of this unsettledness? The mind, the ego mind. And it's our exercise or education or experience to move into heart mind, stay in the heart mind, which is our natural state of being, which is ego mind. We've become so accustomed to ego mind, it's in our unnatural state of being, but we all stay there. We don't move out of it. Leave it alone as much as you can. This is what I say to people. Leave your mind alone as much as you can. Go into heart mind. This is why one of the reasons we have these meditations. It moves you out of ego mind into heart mind. Every day. And we keep doing it and keep doing it until eventually we're in our natural state of being of heart mind, and we always are there. Then what happens? Ego mind dissipates and disintegrates, as well as your thoughts you become the master of your thoughts. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. And so, but how many of us will do that? Well, few. It's difficult because we're so encrusted in ego mind. It's like you get up and you start to feel a little irritable or worried or stressed or fearful about something. Then you stop yourself. You say, you know what? I'm going to be happy today. I'm not going to go into all of the other stuff in low frequencies. It just isn't worth it. I'm going to be happy. One might say, well, that you can't do that. Oh, yeah, you can, because that's where it's at anyway. It's within you. So it's like everything continues deeper beyond the atomic quantum particles, which are amazing yet ancient. You say electron microscopes can barely see beyond the atomic quantum particles. And then we look inside ourselves on a conscious level using our mind to explore who we truly are. What we discover is yet another realm of infinity. And inside our mind, there are memories piled upon memories and beliefs within beliefs, all stacked to infinity. For every new thought that is forming right now, there are a dozen new thoughts soon to follow. Just sit down on some lazy Sunday afternoon to spiritually investigate who you really are. And you'll find you can ascend and descend forever within the deepest realms of your very soul. However, what you may find most fascinating inside of this infinite mystery is in the relationship that's manifesting between our inner world and the outer universe. It behaves something like a perpetual reflection in a mirror. Whatever is happening within our inner world is attracting, magnetizing, and manifesting what we are experiencing in our outer world. Okay? For example, if I'm in a good mood today, all I see are happy, smiling faces. I go, and amazing opportunities seem to effortlessly float my way. Then if I fall down into an emotional dumpster, the face of every person has nothing but gloom and doom smeared all over it. And it feels like my entire life is about to collapse. For all of us, the law of attraction is unavoidable. It's unavoidable. Whatever we are feeling and feeding into emotionally on the inside is somehow always materializing into whatever we see, experience, and physically attract in our outer world. And it's our relationship with ourselves that depends on everything else around us. Sooner or later, we are going to get it And we are going to be within, like in these meditations. We're going to discover the heart, mind, and who and what we truly are. That's massive spiritual evolution. I join in meditation. I'll return and close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain relaxed into your body, still as a statue, and focused on your breath rising and falling. This is when you know you're an awakening being. When in the midst of chaos and suffering, you are completely at ease. Now, people that don't comprehend what you are would think that you were cold and, discompassionate and everything. But in the middle of complete chaos and suffering, you are completely at ease. This is when you know you're an awakening being. To arrive at this divine destination, sometime today, for 30 minutes, meditate on a vast space of nothingness all around you. Do this in complete silence. Just imagine that you are somewhere way out in the universe, and for billions of miles in all directions, there is emptiness. If you need to, put on an eye mask and earplugs. I've done that, and it really works well. If necessary, so you do not see or hear anything. This spacious space is always available to each and every one of us inside us. If and when you truly want to awaken the spiritual experience in your life, I invite you to dive into this spacious, silent place for as long as you possibly can today, somewhere, someplace. 30 minutes isn't that long of a time. You might end up doing it longer. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, following morning. We will return here Sunday, September 20, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you, open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.